Part 1. The Rise and Reinvention of Jun-young. Jun-young was once a world-renowned bodybuilder, a man whose physique captivated audiences and brought him the highest honor in the sport, the championship title at the prestigious Mr. David competition. His body was a masterpiece, sculpted with relentless discipline, unshakable determination, and an obsession for perfection. To the world, he was at the peak of his game, an icon of strength and success. Then, without warning, he disappeared. No press conference, no scandal, no dramatic farewell, just silence. The bodybuilding world was left stunned and confused. Rumors swirled, burnout, injury, or even disillusionment with the industry. But no one had answers. Jun-young had vanished from the spotlight as suddenly as he had conquered it. Years later, he resurfaced in the most unexpected place. A quiet, rundown neighborhood where he opened a modest gym in a semi-basement unit. The space was small and far from glamorous. Old equipment creaked with age, and the walls carried the scent of sweat and time. It was a place no one would associate with a global sports champion. But Jun-young didn't care. He had left behind the glamour, the lights, and the competition stage to start a new chapter of his life. No longer chasing medals, he focused on something deeper, helping ordinary people transform their lives through fitness. He believed in the philosophy that the body is a mirror of one's life. Change the body, and the life will follow. Despite the rough conditions, he worked tirelessly. He cleaned the space himself, repaired old machines, and greeted every visitor with a mix of quiet intensity and professional respect. Some came out of curiosity, some out of desperation. But few stayed. It was hard to imagine that this man, with such a legendary past, now spent his days sweeping floors and adjusting treadmills. Still, there was something in his eyes, a fire that hadn't died. Though he no longer competed, his passion for transformation had only deepened. His goals had changed, but his spirit remained the same. Then one day, she walked in. A woman with red, puffy eyes and a quiet, broken demeanor. Ran. She was the first true sign that Jun-young's new mission might be worth it. He looked at her not with pity, but with recognition. He saw someone who, like him, needed to start over. He didn't promise miracles. He offered hard work, discipline, and belief in her body and in herself. And that was the beginning of something neither of them expected. A journey not just of physical training, but of healing, purpose, and second chances. Part 2. The unexpected arrival of Ran. Ran was not the kind of woman who spent time at gyms. Her world had always revolved around her office job, her friends, and her boyfriend Jun-sook, a charming coworker who had slowly become the center of her life. But everything changed in an instant. The man she thought she knew, her anchor, pulled away without explanation. One day, they were planning their future together, and the next, he was emotionally distant, indifferent, and eventually gone. Heartbroken and aimless, Ran wandered the streets, searching for something she couldn't name. Her feet led her down into a semi-basement gym she had never noticed before. The place looked old, slightly intimidating, and far from the kind of sleek fitness centers she had seen in advertisements. But something pulled her in. When she stepped inside, she was greeted by Jun-young himself. Tall, serious, and muscular beyond belief, he didn't smile or make any flashy sales pitch. Instead, he asked simply, "Do you want to change your life?" Ran, emotionally raw and desperate to feel something, anything, nodded. She signed up for a trial on the spot, despite never having lifted a single dumbbell in her life. Her first few days at the gym were a mix of awkward stretches, breathless effort, and sore muscles. But Jun-young was there, guiding her with a strange mix of silence and insight. He didn't coddle her. He pushed her. Ran was used to being treated gently, always the sweet one, the polite one. But here, she was expected to sweat, to stumble, and to fight. She hated it, and yet, she came back. Each day, her body protested, but her heart quietly healed. Something about the physical struggle gave her a new kind of clarity. Jun-young, too, was watching. Not with the gaze of a man intrigued by beauty, but of a trainer who saw potential. He noticed how she pushed herself, how she clenched her jaw to hold back frustration, and how she kept showing up even when everything inside her was screaming to quit. Their bond was unspoken but growing. Not romantic, not yet. Just two broken people recognizing the strength in each other. And though M.I. Ran didn't know it then, stepping into that gym was the first real decision she had made for herself in a very long time. Part 3. Chaos and conflict within the gym walls. As the days passed, the gym began to fill with more than just the sound of clanking weights and the rhythmic pounding of running shoes. There were voices, complaints, laughter, arguments. The gym was alive, but not always in harmony. Jun-young's strict methods didn't sit well with everyone. While some appreciated his no-nonsense approach and laser focus, others felt alienated by his blunt criticism and cold demeanor. He was not the kind of trainer who praised easily, and many members began to feel like they were under constant evaluation. Complaints started to surface. One member stormed out after being told she lacked commitment. Another refused to return after Jun-young questioned his diet and lifestyle in front of others. Whispers began to float around the gym. Was he too harsh? Too demanding? At the same time, the building itself was showing signs of wear. The heating system broke down during a cold snap, leaving members shivering in their workout clothes. Water from the showers ran cold, and the gym's modest locker rooms became battlegrounds for complaints. Equipment creaked ominously with each repetition, and more than one treadmill refused to start. Still, Jun-young remained steadfast. He patched up what he could, often with his own hands. He personally greeted each member, even if only with a nod, and insisted that physical transformation required enduring discomfort. For him, these hardships were part of the journey. M.I. Ran watched all this unfold with growing concern. She had started to find comfort in the gym, in its routines and the people she slowly got to know. But the rising tension made her nervous. She saw members leave, some in frustration, others quietly disappearing. A few, like her, remained loyal, believing in the vision Jun-young tried to uphold. The final straw came one morning when a new member, humiliated by Jun-young's critique, exploded in anger and accused him of verbal abuse. A shouting match ensued, drawing attention from everyone in the building. M.I. Ran stood frozen, heart pounding. But then, something unexpected happened. Instead of defending himself with anger, Jun-young paused. He looked at the man and simply said, "You can leave. But if you stay, you'll become stronger." That's not a threat, it's a promise. It was a moment of quiet power, and for the first time, M.I. Ran realized that Jun-young wasn't just trying to build better bodies. He was trying to rebuild broken spirits, including his own. Part 4. Painful confessions and a harsh truth. M.I. Ran had started to gain physical strength, but emotionally, she was still fragile. Her relationship with Jun-sook, though officially ended, left her with unresolved questions that haunted her in quiet moments. They still saw each other at work, exchanged awkward smiles, and sometimes shared meaningless small talk. But what M.I. Ran truly needed was closure. One evening, after a long workout, she received a message from Jun-sook asking to meet. Her heart pounded as she made her way to the cafe they used to frequent. The nostalgia of the place hit her like a wave, but she tried to remain composed. Jun-sook looked tired, a little older than she remembered. They sat across from each other in silence until M.I. Ran finally broke it. "Why did we stop? Why didn't you want me anymore?" Jun-sook hesitated. He looked away, then back at her, and sighed. "I didn't know how to say it without hurting you," he muttered. "But that night, when we were together, my body just didn't react. Not with you." M.I. Ran stared at him, not fully processing the words. "What do you mean?" "I mean, I tried. I wanted it to happen. But something in me just couldn't." It was like the floor dropped beneath her. The rejection wasn't just emotional, it was physical. Her worst fears, that she wasn't attractive, desirable, or enough, were being confirmed in real time. Tears welled in her eyes, but she blinked them away. So it wasn't stress or nerves. It was me. Jun-sook looked ashamed. "I don't know. Maybe it was everything. Work stress, expectations, but it happened. And I couldn't ignore it." M.I. Ran stood up slowly. Her voice was calm but hollow. "Thank you for the truth. I wish you had told me sooner." She left the cafe with her chest tight, the air feeling too thin to breathe. That night, she returned to the gym. Jun-young noticed the change in her immediately. Her movements were heavier, her focus scattered. He didn't say anything at first, but after the session, he found her sitting alone on a bench, staring blankly at the floor. "Rough day?" he asked. She nodded. "I found out I wasn't enough for someone I loved." Jun-young knelt in front of her. "You are more than enough." His response has nothing to do with your worth. "But it hurts," she whispered. "Then turn that pain into strength, into movement, into purpose. That's what we do here." His words didn't fix her broken heart, but they gave her something solid to hold on to. For the first time, she saw that transformation wasn't just about muscles and weight loss. It was about reclaiming power in moments of vulnerability. And she wasn't done yet. Part 5. Strength, Redemption, and a New Beginning. Ran returned to the gym the next morning. Her steps were hesitant, her muscles sore, but her heart was steadier than the night before. She wasn't there to forget what had happened, she was there to build something new from its ruins. Jun-young greeted her with a nod, saying nothing, but his quiet presence was enough. As she moved through her training, sweat dripping and lungs burning, she could feel something shift inside her. It wasn't just her body that was changing, it was the way she saw herself. The gym was still facing its own struggles. Members came and went, the rent remained unpaid, and the hot water problems persisted. But the people who stayed, the loyal few, began to bond in unexpected ways. They laughed through pain, cheered each other on during reps, and formed a quiet but resilient community. One evening, the landlord came by again, threatening to evict them unless the rent was paid within days. Tension filled the air. Ran watched as Jun-young stood firm, unshaken. Then, without hesitation, she stepped forward. "I'll sign up for the full 3-month total life care package," she said, placing an envelope of money in his hand. The room went silent. Jun-young looked at her in surprise. "Are you sure?" She nodded. "This place saved me. I believe in it, and in you." That moment was a turning point. Inspired by her conviction, other members followed suit. One by one, they pledged their support, not just for the gym, but for each other. It wasn't just a place to work out anymore, it was a place where people came to reclaim their lives. Jun-young's voice broke the silence. "We are not just building muscle. We are building ourselves, piece by piece, rep by rep, set by set." Under his guidance, and with the determination of its members, the gym began to thrive again. Ran, once lost and heartbroken, became one of the strongest presences in the room. She helped others the way Jun-young helped her, firmly, honestly, and with care. And Jun-young? He smiled more, just a little, but it was enough to know that he, too, was healing. The gym didn't become luxurious. The problems didn't all vanish. But something more important happened. It became a sanctuary. A place where broken pieces were welcomed, and where people weren't just changed physically, but transformed in spirit. As Ran finished a set of heavy squats, breathless and shaking, she looked up at her reflection. It was no longer a stranger. It was someone strong, someone who survived, and someone finally ready for whatever came next.